speech लोग हैं ना देवा
Assalamu alaikum, brother. I think we have some more people still coming, right? So keep in mind, all the candidates, please, if you write down here your name and which party are you belong to, what office you're running, only candidate and their representative can speak. And I'm going to go by this. And just want to let you know that we have like close to 300 plus people going to be watching live. So just do not pay attention for only for this. We have a lot of people, they're watching on home or their businesses.
50,000.
How many?
50,000.
15?
We do have 50,000
50. So you'll be outreaching a lot of people. So should we start it or should we wait a little bit? They're still preparing Sunnah.
They will join.
So we have a lot of distinguished guests here, and they are actually they are currently holding a position, or they are running to re-elect again. We are very respectful. These people, they are here for their busy time. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much for coming and trying to educate our community. We have been doing this kind of event for last 20 plus years, trying to educate our community. So make sure that our community knows who they should vote. We are not a Democrat, we are not a Republican. We are here, whoever the best candidate is, who doing a good job, and we vote for them. So that's the reason we are here. And if anybody have any question, please hold on those your questions. Let everybody speak, and after then we can do some Q&A if you have any questions. Otherwise, we can move forward. I just want to give first, my very good friend, Commissioner Ramsey. Commissioner Ramsey, do you mind if I can let you speak in the last, or you want to go front? But I want to tell you something, what I never told you personally. If you can remember, during month of Ramadan, we had a bigger construction was going on, and the last day of the Quran, Khatm Quran, road was closed, and we had Eid. Brother Nadir Tayyab approached me, and Brother Mursi approached me that Mr. Khan, there's going to be chaos. If the road closed and we have nobody going to be able to make it, and it's going to be very much problem. So we approached Commissioner Ramsey office. He was so kind enough. Actually, he put right away all the work to on hold. I believe Khatm Quran was Wednesday, and Friday we had a Friday prayer over last Friday, and Saturday was Eid, if I remember that. So that was whole week. Commissioner did that for us. So those kind of relationship we have a building with our elected officials. And Commissioner, we really appreciate that what you did. Thank you very much. And our community really appreciate that, and our constable not here, Mark Herman office, whenever we need him for extra petrol or something, we hear any noises from the neighborhood, or we have any things, issues we talk about. I mean, we have our own private security, but beside that, if we need extra petrol, Mark Herman, I approach him, and he always provide us good service and provide extra security. So thank you very much for Mark Herman to please relay my message to him. So let me, please be, again, if you have any question, please do not ask right now. Let the candidate speak. All those candidates, listen to them. And if you have any question, please ask them. Keep in mind, I don't think there's anybody here for running for Congress, right? You are running, 2 people? Okay, there's only 2 people running for Congress. They're not an elected official, right? They're both running. So really, they have no any power or authority. They can speak about Gaza or anything. They are mostly people here for county. They're running for county, or they're running for the judge, right? So I just want to be clarified, because we have a very issues of our Muslim community going on, what the genocide is going on in Gaza and all those things. So it's very good, close to our heart. So I just want to bring in attention to all our community that, you know, we do need to speak about that thing, but this is not the right platform to speak about that. So let me start from here. Tom Ramsey, you are number one. But I really want you to speak more in detail what's going on in the county and what's going on about flood issues and all those things. That's how I was going to give you the last.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Mr. Khan. Thank you for hosting. Thank you all for being here on a Friday night. This is what makes Harris County the best county you can live in, is that people care. And obviously, y'all could be a lot of places on Friday night, but you chose to be here. Again, my name is Tom Ramsey. I'm your Harris County Commissioner, Precinct 3. And as referenced earlier by Chad, much of what I do has to do with 3 or 4 specific items. When I ran 4 years ago, I was focused on 3 things: safe neighborhoods, infrastructure, and lower taxes. And so when someone says that's what you're running for, then maybe you should do something about that. Well, that's been my focus for the last 4 years. So when I say safe neighborhoods is an important issue, I have remained focused on that. Funding of our law enforcement has been top of the shelf for me. There's been a lot of pushback on court. I've been the steady person who has supported the constables, sheriff's office, DA, and anybody involved with law enforcement. That has been a primary focus of mine. Every law enforcement group you can name in this area has endorsed me. My background is engineering. I had a small business for 30 years, 150 people. We did basic design services, civil design services, roads, bridges, drainage, you know, kind of like what a county commissioner would do. And so when you do these sorts of things, I think being prepared was a big part of it. So that has been my focus. I created the Safe School Commission, got unanimous support from my colleagues on that. We set that up after the tragedy at Uvalde School. So all of our different school districts, we've got 15 in the precinct. They all work very closely together, trying to make sure that the safest place for our children on school day is in school. Crime is a problem in Harris County. In order to deal with the problem, you must recognize you have a problem. And I can tell you, we have a problem. And when someone says crime is really down, it probably is based on some statistics, but you know how those statistics work. And based on the data, and I try to be a data-driven and trying to be sure our neighborhoods are safe, in the city of Houston in 2023, there were over 485 murders. Did y'all know that? I don't think anybody says that. That's a big number. That's 2023. That's a real number. I know that's the truth because I talked to the coroner's office who issued the death certificates for all those people that died. Do you know how many people were killed in the unincorporated area where we are tonight? 115. Why is the crime 5 times higher in the city of Houston than it is where you are tonight? Contract deputy program. And don't let anybody tell you differently. And that's why I've supported the neighborhood patrols. That's why we are focused on safe neighborhoods. So when I say that safe neighborhoods are important, that's a priority. That's more than just a tagline. There are specific actions that are associated with it. Now, some people would say, well, crime is down. Yes, it was 700 murders in 2022 and 600 murders in 2023. Now you can say, well, that's good news. I don't think that's good news, because you know how many murders there were in 2018? 400. That's really the number you ought to be looking at. So when people start talking about, well, crime's not a problem, crime's a problem, and we need to keep talking about it. I met with Mayor Whitmire this week a couple of times. I think you expect us to be bipartisan. I do. In order to get the job done, I meet with the people necessary to get the job done. And we're talking on more than one occasion, whether it's safe neighborhoods or other. Infrastructure, that's my background. I'm a registered professional engineer. I've designed more roads and bridges and drainage systems than most people. I work for 50 cities, 20 counties in Texas. So I understand it. That's why we've invested in Precinct 3 over $300 million worth of infrastructure. That is real investment. We have bid more work in Precinct 3 than any other precinct in the county. That's because we're focused on infrastructure. That's important. Flooding homes and roads that need repair, those are all very important and high priority within the precinct. And then there's the lower taxes. I have voted for and caused to happen the greatest tax reduction in 3 years than any other area, any other time period in history. And we've done that a couple of times. I had not to show up. And I didn't show up for a couple of votes for a reason. It was important that you not increase the taxes to the degree that they wanted to. So that was 2 years ago. And that saved the residents of Harris County over $500 million in taxes. The vote this year, which was like 3 weeks ago, Commissioners Court voted to raise your taxes 18%. I mean 8%. I did not vote for that. Number one, the only reason they could do 8% was that it was a disaster. We've had 3 disasters this year. We had a flood in May. We had the derecho, another word for a tornado, in June, and then we had Beryl in July. 3 disasters. So we've had disasters. You're allowed to go up a certain higher rate because we went up a higher rate. So my question to the Commissioners Court was, if you're going to raise it because of the disaster, why don't you spend the money on the disaster? Because they didn't do it, and very little of that went there. That's why I voted against it. Plus, it was really a 10.6% increase, not an 8% increase. When I'm on court, I try to give real numbers. I try not to give you made-up numbers. People like to talk about tax rate. I like to talk about the tax levy. So I have been focused on trying not to waste money. Just this past Tuesday, 3 days ago, they brought something to court using ARPA money on a program that they wanted funded. I asked the question, you're about to spend $30 million. $30 million is a lot of money. What's the administrative cost for the people that's going to be handling that initiative? 25%? I've never known a nonprofit to charge 25%, but yet it passed. So I think my focus over the last 3.5 years of safe neighborhoods, infrastructure, lower taxes, I think I've lived up to what we've talked about. I could talk another 20 minutes, Chad, but the Cypress watershed is the most underserved watershed in the county. We probably have increased, we've done more to increase the detention in that watershed over that period of time than any other. We're taking the 2018 bonds and that money, we got another $750 million of dollars to match that with. So projects within the precinct, several hundred acre feet of detention has been accomplished. But when that flood happened in May, I was able to advocate at a press conference that I asked my neighbors in Montgomery County to quit flooding me. And every drop of water that comes into Harris County from Montgomery County comes into Precinct 3. And the reason I asked Judge Keogh not to flood us, the reason I asked the commissioners in Montgomery County not to flood us, the reason I asked that is all they have to do is adopt Harris County's flood mitigation requirements, and they would retain more water up there and not flood us. Because I asked the question, because I frankly made them uncomfortable, they're probably going to come up with different criteria in Montgomery County. So flooding is a big deal with us, and we're going to continue to focus on it because 80% of all the water that comes into Harris County comes through Precinct 3. It's hard for water to get through this area without going through Precinct 3. So we're looking at some initiatives with the flood control vote that you're going to have in November to increase the taxes related to flood control, but that is a vote that you can look at. You can take decide whether you want to do that or not. So I think we're focused on a lot of different things within the precinct. Again, I'll not take up everybody's time. You've got a lot of people to listen to, but be happy to answer any questions about what we're doing and what we're going to do. And I appreciate you got to go down the bottom of the ballot, like a lot of us. You got to look hard. Not everything that happens at the top of the ballot affects you. There's more that impacts you at the bottom of the ballot than at the top of the ballot. So I'll just make that on behalf of everybody up here because I think most of us are down there at the bottom. Again, thank y'all. Vote Tom Ramsey, Harris County Commissioner, Precinct 3.
Commissioner, thank you very much. And Commissioner, I sit in Harris County Housing Finance Corporation Board, and I know that we are using ARPA funding to moving that fund to affordable housing. Can we able to utilize that funding to the toward about we talking about security issue and other things, or we just have to raise the taxes?
You can use that ARPA money for just about anything. Now, I could be up here another 2 hours telling you how the court has wasted money on where they've spent. We've got nearly $1 billion in ARPA money over the last 3 years. And I have a real concern with how a significant portion of that has been spent. And unfortunately, I am one vote, and you kind of go through and you say, well, why don't we do something different other than what we are? Obviously, I'm not for programs like Uplift, where you give 1,800 people $500 a month for 18 months. That's $20 million. Yes, sir. That's not right. And you know what you had to do to qualify to get that $500? Not live in Precinct 3. That's not right. That is partisan, and we need to get over it. We need to get beyond being partisan and do some smart things for the county. That was $20 million. Oh, by the way, that's been delayed and stopped, and I don't think that's going anywhere.
Yes, sir. No, thank you very much for bringing our attention, because I think that if we could use that money for ARPA money, we probably do not have to increase the taxes, if I understand. Oh, so second is Steve. Man, you guys say line up together, huh? So this precinct where we are sitting, that used to be Steve precinct. He used to be commissioner here. Am I right? 32 years. Thank you, Steve, for good work.
Thank you. A pleasure to be here. Yes, Tom Ramsey, I decided to retire, and Tom Ramsey ran, and I've been working now for Tom Ramsey for 18 months. I run for Harris County Tax Assessor Collector. I want to make it really clear that Tax Assessor's Office have about 83 different entities we collect money from, and that's going to continue to fluctuate a little bit, but just to let you know, the Tax Assessor Collector varies by the year. It's bringing in somewhere between $7 billion and $15 billion a year in taxes from different entities. What I really want to talk to you about is this. My job would be, if I'm elected, to collect the money. But I want you to realize it's your money. And what's unfortunate is people send their money in, they pay their bill, but they don't really think about where's my money actually going. And I want to assure you, a lot of your money is wasted. It's wasted. If I'm elected, I assure you I'll have a website letting you know where your money's going, and I'll tell you whether I agree with it or not. Doesn't mean you have to agree with me. But the point of the matter is, it's time people understand when it deals with your money, you need to be loud and you need to be proud. You don't need to hesitate going to commissioner's court or school board or whatever. You need to be loud and proud and express your opinions. Believe me, people sitting on some of these things like the city council, commissioner's court, school boards, they don't really like people questioning them. Some of them don't. I know Tom Ramsey doesn't. I've sat there for 32 years getting questioned. But let me emphasize to you, you got to pay attention to your money or parts of your money is going to be wasted. And when I told the Chronicle that this is what I would do if I was elected, they said, you can't do that anymore. You're not a member of Commissioner's Court. I said, yes, I can. I said, it is incumbent on every elected official in Harris County government to expose waste. It's incumbent on them. They need to expose waste. That way it's a checks and balance among the different departments. Even the people who are appointed by Commissioner's Court, they need to be held accountable. So what I'm saying to you is this. I'm going to be out there watching that money. And I'll also tell you this, the voter registration rolls have come away from the taxes, away from the election administrator back to the tax assessor collector. So we'll be looking to those voter rolls and making sure the people on those rolls should be there and making sure that people that aren't on the voter rolls, we encourage them to vote. So I can't overemphasize. In this election, you need to think about something that's really important. You need to think about, and I'll talk about local politics here. You need to think about, do you want a sheriff that will work hard and run a jail where you don't have all kind of people dying in the jail before they even go to trial? Do you want a good district attorney that's going to actually prosecute cases? Do you want a good county attorney that's going to defend your money when people try to sue the county to go after your money when they may not deserve that money? Judges. You need judges. They're going to show up to work, and they're going to hear cases. And the backlog in cases in some courts in Harris County is absurd. So pay attention. You got to pay attention. And like Tom Ramsey just told you, remember this, there'll be more things affecting you at the bottom of the ballot than at the top of the ballot. And so I appreciate you having me, and I will do everything possible if I'm elected I guarantee you, you'll be able to talk to me if you want to talk to me, and I'll assure you I'll do the best I can to protect your money. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Steve. And guy standing right behind, that's bodyguard for that's his father. And he worked for Tom Ramsey too. Jacqueline Smith, is that I say right? You running for county attorney.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jacqueline Lucci Smith, and yes, I'm running for Harris County Attorney. A lot of people don't know what that position actually does. It's a very important position in Harris County because it handles all of the civil matters on behalf of Harris County as elected and appointed officials. It means that I would represent the hospital district, Children's Protective Services, the sheriffs, the constables, Commissioner's Court, the individual commissioners, the judges, every single department in Harris County, purchasing, real estate, facilities and property management. If there's a car accident, I would represent the county employee or official that was in the car accident, whether they're prosecuting to get their money back from who hit them or whether I'm defending them. As Steve Raddick just said, one of the things I would be doing is protecting your money from people trying to get it. One of the things that my opponent did was settle a case that they had won in the Court of Appeals that said that Harris County wasn't liable, and they went to Commissioner's Court and settled it for $4.5 million after they already won the case. They went ahead and decided they should pay out money on a case they had won. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to protect your money. And that's one of the things that's so important about the Harris County Attorney. The other people that I represent are like the County Clerk and the Tax Assessor Collector with voter registration. If you ever want free and fair elections again in Harris County where they're not losing paper ballots and messing with voting machines and not showing up and closing doors and voting during non-voting hours, you need a county attorney that's running those elections and making sure that the elected officials that are supposed to be running those elections are doing it according to the law. My job would be to make sure that the law is followed by every official in Harris County. Let me tell you why I'm the right person for this job. I'm a 30-plus year attorney. I worked for 5 years before I went after college, before I went to law school. I started working 13 years old in my father's doctor's office. I have worked my entire life. It's not something new to me. And then I went to law school. I started out at the Harris County Attorney's Office in 1998. I was already a 5-year attorney, but I went to work at the Harris County Attorney's Office. I worked with a lot of the departments. One of the things that I did was work with the Tax Assessor Collector. Paul Betancourt brought me into the Harris County Tax Office as one of his executive directors. I was there when we implemented the new registration system for our vehicles, voter registration system that we had to update, and the new property tax system that now tracks all that money that Steve Raddick is going to be collecting very soon. After that, I ran for judge. I was elected judge of Harris County Civil Court at Law. I served as a judge. I was one of the judges that came in behind a judge that wasn't showing up to work. There was a 10,000 case backlog when I took over that court. The first year on the bench, I tried 100 jury trials. I cleared out that docket within 3 years. I had one of the lowest numbers of dockets in the county civil courts. I worked so hard to get those numbers down because that's what people, justice delayed is not justice served. One of the things that came up already this evening is that Uplift Terrace. One of the things that I've argued with my opponent about is whether or not it's even constitutional. The Constitution says we can't give money to people, but that's what they want to do is just give handouts. That doesn't help anybody. It doesn't even help the people they're giving the handouts to. What happens when that $500 goes away in 18 months? They've gotten used to having an extra $500 in their pocket without having to earn it. So what are they doing? It's a temporary fix. Wouldn't it make more sense to invest that $20 million in neighborhoods that benefit everybody in the neighborhood? Doesn't it make more sense to go ahead and help people in those underserved communities by increasing law enforcement presence, by cleaning up the neighborhood, by making sure that they have clean streets and safe streets? Doesn't that make more sense to spend money that benefits the entire community instead of a select few individuals that happen to win a lottery? That's the type of advice that I can give Commissioner's Court. That's the type of advice that I can shine a light on, and that's the type of advice that will be on the Harris County Attorney's website when I'm elected. I'm asking for your vote, and I really appreciate your attention this evening.
Thank you very much. Guys, are you getting a lot of good informations? Good. So now, we're getting some little bit time. We have to finish this thing by 8:25. We have a prayer, next prayer, the last prayer is coming, so 8:30. So let's try to save some time. If we can probably utilize our time for at least 2 to 3 minutes, or I think we'll be fine, right? So the next one is Melissa's already speak. No, Melissa, you have not speak, right?
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Melissa McDonough, and I'm running for Congress, Congressional District 38. This is where we sit. Congressional District 38 runs from Montgomery County, past I-10 to the Addicks Reservoir, into 610, and all the way out to parts of Katy. So it's a big area. It's a very interesting little drawing. It's like a kindergartner drew a little guy on a scooter. So to know if you're in 38 or not, you'll probably need to go to our website and put in your address. That's melissaforcongress.com, and we'll show you exactly if you live in the district or what district you do live in. I have been in 38 for over 30 years. I live in Tomball. I am a wife. I am a mother of a wife of 31 years now this month. I'm a mother of 2 grown, brilliant boys who both work for the Department of Defense. One in cyber warfare, and one reports to the Pentagon. Both of them went to college at age 14 and 16, so I'm the mama nag. I have been a realtor for 29 years and a brokerage owner, so I'm a small business owner. I've been working on the Hill on my own time and dime since 2004, helping to push legislation in affordable housing, affordable health care, and consumer protection. This is the opportunity for me to concentrate 100% of my time on the Hill to represent what we need here. I have been in the field, and I know from talking to you guys exactly, to our community, exactly what we're looking for. Number one thing, equality. So when we talk about equity, and we talk about sharing those tax dollars, and we talk about what she mentions about broadening it through all of our communities, that's what you've asked for. That's what Congress needs to do for you. Wesley Hunt is the person that I'm running against. That is a person who doesn't live in our district. He lives 2 districts over. He's missed 1 in 6 votes. If you had someone that was an employee that didn't show up 1 day out of 6, you probably wouldn't have them as an employee anymore. And most importantly, when we talk about integrity, he is under ethics investigation. Again, this is an opportunity to do something that I've been doing since 2004 for us on my own time and dime, and do it full time. Thank you so much. I'm going to keep to my 2 minutes and let someone else go next, but I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Melissa. Melissa, I do not know that you're a realtor.
Yes.
Yeah, we met 2-3 times in realtor function, but I thought you were just doing campaigning. Yep. So you know that I'm a realtor too, right?
Do what?
You know that I'm a realtor, right?
Yes.
So I was sitting in the HR board of directors, and
Yeah, you and
right.
Yes.
Thank you. But yes, ma'am.
I just want to mention that you do not have to live in your district when you're running for Congress, because she said that. He doesn't live there.
So Michael Andrew.
Harris County deserves change in our civil district courts. I'm Michael Landram, and I ask for your vote in my race for the 133rd Civil District Court in Harris County. I'm a former judge. For 6 years, I was a civil district judge, and then after that, I was appointed to a vacancy in the civil courts during the COVID situation. The reason that we need change in our courts, and there are many, but the primary one is that many of our civil district judges nowadays are just not showing up and doing the job. We have, when I was serving as a district judge, the average case load in any court was around 800 cases. Today, it's almost 4,000 cases. It was not unusual when I was serving that I would be leaving the courthouse to go get a sandwich for lunch, and I would run into some of my colleagues who were just arriving for work for the day. And I promise you, their cars were not in the garage when I went home in the evening. So, the first thing, show up for work. Do the job, know the law, and follow the law without favor or bias to anyone. When people come before a court, particularly a civil court, they are there because they have a problem and they need a solution to that problem. We have courts, such as the one I'm running for the purpose of assisting people in reaching peaceful resolutions to their disputes. How do we do that? First thing, is we respect the law. We know the law, and we follow the law every time. And it doesn't matter who the parties are before the court. It doesn't matter where they're from, what their first language was, what their last name is. It is respect for each individual. It is respect for the rules that we have that must be applied to everyone exactly the same way. Not everyone is happy with the outcome in any case, but they must feel confident that they will be treated with respect and that they will get a full and fair hearing when they come to court. I've been an attorney almost 48 years. As I said, I judged for 6 of those years, and for 14 years I was judge in the Harris County Tax Court. I am a board-certified specialist in the field of civil trial law. That's the kind of law that this court handles. I'm also a board-certified specialist in the related field of civil appellate law. Fewer than 1% of Texas attorneys hold board certification specialties in more than one field. It's not required. It's like taking the bar exam 3 times. I ask for your vote. I want to serve you. My routine was to show up at the courthouse by 7:30 in the morning and usually went home at 6 o'clock in the evening because I love doing the job. I will stick around. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have about me or about this court. Or if you have friends or relatives who say, I don't vote in the judge elections because I don't understand what they are about, what the courts do. I would like to give you one of my cards and ask you to reach out to me. Invite me, and I will come and stand in your front yard, and I will talk to your family and your friends and explain to them what courts like this one do. I've taught at the university level a course about the American court system. I love the law. I believe our Constitution in the United States and in Texas are the best thing that we have going for us to prevent overreaching and oppression. That's what I stand for, and I hope you'll stand with me. My name is Michael Landram. Thank you.
Michael, thank you very much. And I did serve in many civil court as umpire. So if you ever need umpire, let me know. So next one is Robert Johnson. Oh, Robert, you have been here many times, so you're not a new person.
Good evening, everyone. How's everyone doing this evening? Wonderful, wonderful. My name is Robert Johnson. I am the presiding judge of the 177th Criminal District Court, and I was initially elected to the bench in November of 2016. I'm seeking my 3rd term as your judge in that courtroom, and by me being a district court criminal judge, I hear the more serious criminal offenses, the felony cases. Some of the wonderful things I've done since taking that courtroom over is reducing the case backlog. Why did we have a case backlog? Well, we had a case backlog because of Hurricane Harvey, COVID, and the freeze. It basically shut not only the courts down here in Harris County, but across the country, and it caused the cases to back up. So we have eventually, since 2020, now we're in 2024, we've basically cleaned that backlog up. We have. I've also made sure that we dispose of cases in a timely manner in the 177th. And then on top of that, when some of our young people get in trouble and they want a trial, I make sure that they receive a fair trial along with the state, because both sides are entitled to receive a fair trial. So those are some of the accomplishments I've made as judge in the 177th. I am seeking re-election. I'm running as a Democrat. I am a Democrat, and I'm humbly here today asking for your vote and support. And I've been out here on many occasions. This is not just my first time coming out. And let me dispel right now some of the false information that you're seeing on TV or the radio. Because I am a current district judge. Everyone accused of a criminal offense is presumed innocent until proven guilty. They have a constitutional right to a trial by jury if they elect that right. Also, too, generally, everyone is entitled to bond. There are certain situations where a person can be denied bail or bond, but they're entitled to a hearing before a judge can do so. I can't just lock somebody up in jail because I have a black robe on. That's a violation of their due process rights. So some of this stuff that you're seeing on TV is completely false. It is. And like I said, I'm the judge in the 177th Criminal District Court on the 19th floor in the Criminal Justice Building. I call my docket at 9:30 every single day. I encourage you to stop by any time you want to. I'm there every single day on time. We try cases in my courtroom every single week. I have one of the lowest dockets out of I think we now have 26 criminal district courts in Harris County. We just added an additional 3, but I have one of the lowest dockets of the 26, I think it's 26 now, criminal district courts. I also have one of the highest clearance rates. And some of this information that I'm telling you right now, you can verify what I'm saying because it's on the Harris County Criminal District Court website. It's on there. This information that I'm talking about is on there. So please go to the Harris County Criminal District Court's website. It has all of the different courts. It has what their clearance rates are as far as the cases that are coming in and how many cases are being disposed of. It also has how many cases are being tried by the various different courts. So please check this information out on your own, do your own personal research, because sometimes the information that you receive is not always accurate and correct. But again, I'm humbly here asking for your vote and support. My name is Robert Johnson. I am your current judge in the 177th Criminal District Court. And thank you so much for your time and your attention. God bless you.
And Judge Robert Johnson, he is standing next to me, pray the Maghrib with us. Thank you, Judge, for praying with us. And it's not his first time either. He has been here many times. Thank you for coming back again. Paul.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. يا رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. So, I'll be speaking on behalf of MJ Jimenez, running for State Representative, District 150. But before we get into that, let's just do a quick overview of Texas government. So, Texas government, just like federal government, you have 3 branches. You have your executive, which is the governor, your legislative, which is Congress, split into 2 houses, split into two. So you have your Senate and your House of Representatives, and you have your judiciary. So it's supposed to be a balance of powers, and the legislative branch plays a big role in what laws pass and what don't. And so they represent their constituents from their local districts at the state level. Now, MJ Jimenez is representing District 150 from Stubner Airline all the way west to the Kingwood area, 45, south of Spring Creek, north of 1960. And let me just first speak about her opponent. So her opponent, Valerie Swanson, currently representing District 150, was voted in by 56,000 members of the 250,000 constituent district. So 20% of the people represented the entire district, and her main selling point when she won against Debbie Riddle, the previous incumbent, was that was her anti-Islam stance. That's how she won the votes of the people. MJ Jimenez is going to represent us well, represent Muslims, represent the people, represent everybody at state government, and push back against any biased legislation that comes out of the governor's office. We saw how he reacted to the UT protests with hundreds of state troopers responding to an art festival on Palestine. This is unacceptable, and our first line of defense against this is going to be legislators that consider the Muslim community and advocate for us. They're going to push laws that are in our favor, and they're going to stand against laws that are unfair and biased towards Islam. In addition to that, she advocates for good use of tax dollars. Texas currently invests millions of dollars of our taxes in Israeli bonds. She wants to see a better use of our dollars in flood infrastructure, in rebuilding our infrastructure to protect our homes whenever the next storm or flood happens. She wants to protect the public schools because good public institutions protect the people, as opposed to privatizing institutions to favor the corporate interests in opposition to the people. So if you want somebody that's going to represent you and represent us and represent our community and not buckle down to corporations and to unfair tactics by state government, vote MJ Jimenez for District 150. If you're not in District 150, then you can reach out to our campaign, flip150.org, find out more about her, recruit people, support. You can block walk, we're always canvassing. We're always phone banking, so if you want to help with the campaign, you can reach out to us. We'll be handing out material, and you can check out flip150.org, MJ Jimenez, for State Representative, District 150. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you. Thank you, Paul. And Valerie Swanson, she is representing District 150. She has been here many times at our masjid, and she spoke to us many times. And MJ is running against her, right, as a Democrat. Thank you very much for coming, Paul. Laura Jones, you running for U.S. Congress?
Hi, I'm Laura Jones, and I'm actually applying for the job to represent the people who live in District 8 in Washington. So District 8 is Northwest Harris County and part of Katy and part of Cypress. So one of the reasons I'm running is because I'm just an average, everyday, hardworking person, and I don't see that my concerns are being addressed in Washington. So I decided, why not me? Why not stand up and be a voice for the people? So I'm a mother of 6 kids. My husband and I have been married for 27 years. I'm also a real estate agent and a small business owner. So many of the things that many hardworking people go through, I go through on a daily basis, or my friends or loved ones go through. So I stand for religious freedom. And I believe that our country and our state are stronger because of the diversity that we have. So I will be an ally. My door will always be open. I will be accountable and transparent to the people in District 8. So thank you so much.
And tell me, where is your district located, and who's current congressperson?
So the current congressman is a Republican, Morgan Luttrell. He was elected last election 2 years ago. And the district starts up in Polk County, which is near Lake Livingston. It comes down half of Montgomery County, Walker County. I live in San Jacinto County, and then Northwest Harris County down into Katy and Cypress.
Thank you, and you are a realtor. Yes. So one more realtor here.
Okay.
So we are 4 realtor here. Man, we must be making too much money as a realtor. So now we have 3 people left, and it's 8:08. We have 12 minutes, right? Close to like 12 minutes or 15 minutes. So try to get 5 minutes each. I think we'll make it. So next one is Don Simon. Don, if you can do 3 and 5 minutes, great.
I'll do the best I can. I promise to get you out of here by midnight, folks. My name is Dan Simons. I'm running to be your next Harris County District Attorney. Now, before I begin, I want you to know something. When I tell you I'm going to show up, I'm going to show up. When I set an appointment, I show up to that appointment regardless. And it's unfortunate that somebody cancels last minute on you that should be here asking for your vote. I don't assume I have your vote. I'm assuming others decide they don't want to be here last minute. They may have your vote, but you know what? I don't think so. So I'm going to work for your vote tonight. And everybody out there watching the video as well, we're here to earn your vote. Now, Harris County is very diverse. We got 4.7 million people. We need somebody in the DA's office that actually represents everybody equally and fairly, and someone that can relate to everybody. I'm not your typical candidate. This is not a typical election year. We've got somebody on the ballot that never received a vote. I grew up homeless and in foster care. I moved in with friends just to have the opportunity to be the first to graduate high school in my family's history. I joined the military after high school because it was my only choice. I was told you're on your own. I wanted to be a cop in the Air Force because I wanted to be a state trooper and one day Texas Ranger to go after corruption. But the real reason I wanted to be a cop is, you see, violent predators prey on the poor, the weak, and the vulnerable. And as a child, I was not spared. Between the ages of 8 and 15 years old, I was a child victim. Nobody was there to give me a voice. Nobody was there to protect me. Nobody was there when I needed it. And I don't want any victims in Harris County to ever feel that way. As your district attorney, I will assure you that every victim will have a voice. These 4,000 rape victims that don't have a voice, I want to be their voice. The 287,000 cases that were not investigated, we need to investigate. We need to do our job. We have failed you in Harris County, but I'm here to set it straight to say that we can do better. Now, I went into business after high school, or after military, and decided, you know what, I want a law degree. And at 27 years old, I went back to college. I don't recommend that for everybody. Go if you want, but it's not nearly as fun as if you go younger. I went to Sam Houston State University, where I graduated #1 out of 1,108 students. And then I got accepted to Thurgood Marshall here in Houston. Despite everybody saying, Dan, you can't go to Thurgood, you can't graduate from Thurgood, you can't pass the bar from Thurgood, and you certainly can't get a good job from Thurgood Marshall. Well, you know what? Two things not stripped from me as a child is my honor and my integrity. You dance with those who brought you. I proudly went to Thurgood Marshall, graduated magna cum laude from Thurgood Marshall, passed the bar on the first try, and now I'm running to be the first Thurgood Marshall, Texas Southern University District Attorney in Harris County history. But I didn't stop there. I hate tax so much, I got a master's in tax law at the University of Houston. Somehow ended up in the DA's office. Now let me set the stage for you. Most prosecutors down at the DA's office, mom and dad paid for elementary, junior high, and high school like my opponent coming from privilege. First job from college and law school is the DA's office. When I walked into that office, I had 12 years of business experience, military experience, and a lifetime of adversity and hardship I had to overcome. So when I walked into that courtroom, I didn't see defendants, I saw people. You need someone that can relate to you. I've also been a defense attorney for the last 8 years. I've freed more minorities from the justice system than anybody that's ever run for DA. This is what I bring to the table, someone that has 16 years of business experience, military experience, law enforcement, defense attorney, prosecution, and more importantly, I know what it means to be a real victim. I don't have to pretend. This is what I submit to you. I will give you a fair justice system. I am running pretty much the most independent, moderate Republican campaign you've ever seen. I don't have any of the establishment endorsement. In fact, the two endorsements that I'm proud to have, I've got Mattress Mac. When our county officials fail you, you can turn to him and count on him. If he can count on me, then you should be able to count on him. I got Commissioner Ramsey's support. Look at the support of the people that are running for office. It'll tell you everything about their character. I am Dan Simons. I hope to be your next Harris County District Attorney, and I hope I earned your vote tonight. Thank you very much.
Dan have been here previously, you know, you have been here before. And Lon is my very good friend. She's his campaign manager, right? And she's always try to help me whenever I need any help. Thank you, Lon, for coming. Now I have a council member. I don't know, should I call you council member or? So Mike Knox has served in the city of Houston as a council member for large. For 2 terms. Now he's running for sheriff, and I believe the sheriff's supposed to be here, but I'm not sure that he's here. So Mike Knox want to earn our vote.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Khan. I know we're tight on time, so I'm going to move very quickly and very fast. I'm Mike Knox, and I'm running for Harris County Sheriff. The reason I'm running for sheriff is because I don't believe our current sheriff has the leadership skills needed to run a multi-million-dollar operation like the Harris County Sheriff's Department. And first of all, let me just back up and give you a little of my background. I was a Houston police officer for 15 and a half years. I started the first gang unit in the city of Houston in 1988. I wrote a book on that subject, and that was published. And I left the police department in 1995 to pursue a career as a consultant on gang and youth violence. And I did that for 22 years, from 1995 until 2015, when I ran for office as a Houston City Council member. I won that term, and then a second term was termed out in December of 2023. All my life, I've been a person who seeks problems and tries to fix them. When I was in HPD, we didn't have a gang unit. I thought we needed one, and I did the work necessary to get that done. That gang unit became the West Side Gang Task Force, and later we were able to start the Texas Gang Investigators Association. So I know how to work systems and keep people in line and keep them going in the same direction. As a city council member, I worked very strongly with the mayor, trying to keep him in line. That was a lot of fun to do. And I won a few battles. I won a few. But every one of my arguments was based in logic, reason, good judgment, and common sense. I want to take that same attitude to the sheriff's department. Right now, we have a jail that is completely dysfunctional. We have drugs running in and out of the jail. It's porous, and that has to do with lack of supervision, lack of accountability. We need to stop that, and it needs a sheriff who makes it a priority to make sure the supervisors supervise their guards or the inmate or the detention officers. Secondly, we have a jail system where people are escaping. They're dying at a rate of 2.5 people per month in the Harris County Jail. Like one of these attorneys said a while ago, everybody's presumed innocent in the jail, and they all have a right to their day in court. I think the least that the sheriff can do is keep you alive long enough for you to have your day in court. No one should be dying from drug overdoses or for lack of medication. Those are what we call unforced errors. I think I can fix that. Secondarily, the Constitution of the state of Texas talks about the sheriff's department. And there are two jobs the sheriff has. One is to run the jail, and the other is to fight crime. Well, in the Harris County, how many of you have called the sheriff's department recently? And how long did you wait to see one? Forever. Now, there's a reason for that. The reason is because the Harris County Sheriff's Department services 1,740 some odd square miles. I think that's right, Tom? There's a population of 2.4 million people in the unincorporated areas of Harris County, and we only have about 3,400 certified deputies. You have to divide that by 3 because there's 3 shifts, right? So there's not enough deputies to go around. We have a larger land mass, we have a larger population, and we have fewer certified peace officers than the city of Houston, who only covers 640 square miles and yet has 5,100. Our sheriff's deputies are underpaid. They're underpaid to the tune that school district police officers make more than Harris County Sheriff's deputies do. And that's because their sheriff, the person who's in charge of them, will not stand before Commissioner's Court and demand pay raises and benefit packages and make this department functional. In fact, the Commissioner's Court, I've been told, have never denied the sheriff anything that he wanted in his budget, anything that he's ever asked for. The problem is he just doesn't ask for it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to ask for it. I'm going to demand it. I'm going to make our Commissioner's Court recognize that public safety needs to be priority number 1 for this government. And I'll stomp my feet and wave my flag and rattle my saber, whatever's necessary to get their attention to get this job done. And you will have a safer Harris County with me as your sheriff. You'll have a safer jail. It will function properly, and we will get the job done. I'm Mike Knox, and I'm running for Harris County Sheriff, and I appreciate your vote. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. And please keep in mind that I invite almost all the elected officials during month of Ramadan to having a breaking fast with us. So please look forward for my invitations. Brett, you are the last one, and you got 2 minutes probably.
2 minutes, all right.
And before everybody leave, can you guys, soon Brett finish, if we can stand up together, we can take group picture?
Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here tonight. It's an honor to be in front of you. My name is Brett Robinson. I am running for state representative for District 130. In case you do not know where District 130 is, it covers Cypress, a big chunk of Tomball, and a slice of Waller. It's mostly above 290, but there is a sliver that goes down into the Aberdeen community. And so there are two priorities that I have in running for state representative, okay? The first one is restoring our reproductive freedom, and the first is protecting public education. Why is number one restoring reproductive freedom for me? My opponent is one of the co-authors behind the abortion ban here in Texas. 6 weeks before many women know they are pregnant, no exceptions for rape or incest. That's unacceptable to me, and we need to change that. You might disagree with abortion, that's fine, but we at least need something that protects rape and incest victims. My second priority, protecting public education. I've got kids in my district right now who lost their bus service because of the inactivity of the current representative. These children lost their bus service because statewide, school boards all over the state are having to do budget cuts. Cy-Fair ISD had to do budget cuts. The basic allotment that Texas gives to public schools has not increased since 2019. And so they are seeing these cuts mostly because of the inflation that's been happening, and the state hasn't been keeping up with it. My old middle school bus route doesn't even exist anymore. And so funding our public schools is a top priority for me. At the very least, as a state representative, I believe I need to be giving more opportunities, if not the same, that was afforded to me when I lived in that district, and I still do, but when I was a kid going to school. And so when I see that my old middle school bus route doesn't exist anymore, it really concerns me, because that means that the next generation has less opportunities than I had. And so that's my number one goal, was restoring that and the rights we used to have. Thank you. Again, my name is Brett Robinson, running for State Rep District 130. Hope to have your support. Please reach out to me if you ever need anything. My website is brettfortexas.com.
Brett, before you leave, you running against who?
Yes, my opponent, his name is the current incumbent, Tom Oliverson.
And where is your district located?
Yes, so again, it covers the Cypress area, a big chunk of Tomball, and it goes all the way up to Waller. Gets about half of it. Everywhere above 290, including Aberdeen, which is the only community below 290 that's in the district.
Thank you, Brett.
Absolutely.
That's very important thing. Need to people let them know. Where are you running for? Let's guys, we have 1 minute. Let's get together real quick. We're going to put ladies on the chair, and we all, elected official behind, and we all get grouped together. So all the ladies can sit down on the chair. Thank you.